Welcome back, everyone, to another Gaming on the Brain playthrough.
Hello.
Keep doing that.
Living on the Brain.
Gaming on the Brain. Easy for me to say. We've just done Pit Fighter and Gardens of the Hood, so bear with us. We're now moving on to Golden Axe Megadrive. We've got to play it. It's fantastic.
We felt like mixing it up a bit as well. I mean, we're doing a lot of arcade games lately, and it was about time to start hitting a console classic. And
it's about time we played something that actually be good at, rather than just button mashing, which is what we've done lately.
The Hood definitely was, not Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I really want to say that as well, But I mean, as well, Golden Axe, we have so much history with this. I mean, in fact, wasn't it not our first podcast as well?
It was, but the arcade version.
Yeah, for the arcade version.
So like I said in the first one,
this was always going to happen.
If you want more Golden Axe after this, go back and check out.
We've got Golden Axe 2 as well, and Revenge of Death Adder. So.
Yeah, that's right. We've got both arcade games.
Yeah.
2 different podcasts, episode 1 and I believe it was episode 15 as well, but don't hold us to that.
We are big fans of this series as well, so do expect to see other games in the series. I mean, I suggested to Mark about doing maybe the Golden Axe Duel at some point as well, which didn't get as much. Wasn't as popular as it could have been, but it would be nice to just. I mean, it's actually a nice game. It just came at a time when obviously there's so many fighting games. Golden Axe 3 as well on the Megadrive, which I personally love. I think Golden Axe 3 is a fantastic game. Very polarising for some, but and coming at a time when games were way more impressive visually and orally, but it's still such a great game and such a good step forward for the series, I personally thought.
I've got to plug the channel, so before we move on, I'm just going to ask, if you enjoy the content, please drop us a like, smash that subscribe button, and you'll get to see all the content as it happens. We've also got social media, so I'll leave some links in the description, and please come and join us on the social media.
Absolutely.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's a good community. We're always looking to build upon it and get more people in there.
Yeah, we're looking at, we've got other projects in the pipeline as well, a little bit different, which we'll keep fairly quiet for now, but
New Year's Eve,
what we've got going forward, I think will be hopefully great, because it seems to be kind of unique and all. I think what we've got there, it's not exactly what others are doing out there. So
it's so oversaturated, especially like the retro market now on like YouTube and that. You've got to try and stand out. And now anybody who's done any YouTube will appreciate this. Anything you can do different to anyone else works, but at the same time you need to create content that people are going to enjoy.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Well, I've always suggested you as well, though. I mean, we'll find that a lot of these classic arcade and console games, there's not that many multiplayer long players out there, isn't there? So I mean, they are there. It's not like they don't exist. We're not trying to say that, but there isn't as many, so it's just sort of nice to see another perspective. We're not going to be always the best players as well, because we're played for fun. So I do have a broken wrist still at present as well, so there's my excuse if I'm not too good. Like
I'm just shite. That's my excuse.
You're great, man. Really. Apart from that, Gardens of the Hood. But that's different. You still beat the boss in the eye, but I got you in Pit Fighter, so
Right, let's just get on with it.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's just beat the bastard's ass.
Options.
Yeah, we'll chuck the health on full. Why not? I believe I'm playing as Gilius today, and Mark's gonna not play as Gilius.
I'll play as Tyrus.
I've also thought this is a good combination. We'll leave the story segment on.
Yeah,
I'm not going to read it out.
Leave any stories on just for the channel, Oh, it's got a little caption bubble as well, look. Didn't do that in the arcade. This
was always like a nice little feature on the Mega Drive version. In fact, it's very different from the arcade, and that your friend Alex is actually in the game and dies in front of you, so it was they cut that bit here, but at least they've still put some nice story exposition there, like, so that's not a bad thing, like. And here we go into the wilderness. This is the first game. I mean, I did say it actually in the original podcast that we did about the Golden Axe arcade game, although we did touch on most of the other versions as well. But this is the game that actually blew me away back in the day. I seen this back in 1990, back when the Mega Drive was brand new, and this just the fact that what they'd done to the game, and at that time it just felt like playing an arcade at home. I mean, in hindsight, as you spend more time with the arcade and Mega Drive, there's clearly many differences between the two versions, but they're not as obvious when you don't have them side by side, Oh, Mark, you're in one of the best stun loops I've ever seen. and I can't do nothing. But it's rare that happens, and I think it only happens in 2-player. But it's, as you can see, it's absolutely lethal. Like, but what they did with Golden Axe on the Mega Drive and the extra content they created just made it one of the finest conversions I've ever played. Like, you know, it started something for me, which at that time and growing up into the late and even the mid and late 90s, just meant this was one of my favourite series, along with the Street to Rage games as well at the time, which is obviously something we'll be spending time with eventually as well, you know, for multiple reasons. Boss of the level, the Bad Brothers, you know, iconic Golden Axe enemies.
Can't beat a chicken leg. Speed.
Yeah.
I remember, Glenn, when you first brought this home. I think you borrowed the Megadrive off.
I borrowed a Megadrive. Kev Hoy, one of our mates at the time, remember, right? And we played it literally. You stayed up with me. We both stayed up. We played this till we're like Mum and Dad woke up and basically told us to stop. It was a Saturday. It was like a Saturday or Sunday. It was a weekend. You'll get there, mate, if you want. You might as well get stocked up. It was just. We got Alien Storm at the time as well, and I'd have a lot of love for Alien Storm, and I did play it, but I was still so like enamoured with Golden Axe.
I remember you bringing it home, and I was blown away by how close it was to the arcade version.
But this is what was amazing about when I first played this Mega Drive. I mean, we beat like the boss that we know now not to be the final boss, Death Adder, you know, the red one, and when it went on to like extra levels with new like. Not completely new enemies, only really palette swaps of existing enemies, but it was still massively impressive at that time, you know, when you're a kid who was growing up on, well, at that time I think we still had like the Commodore. We had the NES as well, I think, but did we get the NES a bit later, but we still didn't have a Mega Drive, but we grew up for many of our years on the Commodore 64, so, which had some great games as well, like, and that'll be its own thing one time, but, I mean, seeing the Mega Drive for the first time in this particular game, I mean, but then you've got so many classics. I mean, Super Shinobi as well, you know, or Revenge of Shinobis it's called. Honestly, like, you know, I say Alien Storm, obviously previously mentioned. And there was some of the not so well-known games and all, which I remember being really impressed with as well, like Dynamite Duke. Thought that was class on.
Yeah, that was a good game. But I loved like Cyborg Justice and stuff like that. And Elemental Master.
Elemental Master for that amazing techno soft music. I mean, the soundtrack's one of the best in the world ever on any.
Techno soft was that was who did the
Thunder Force series.
Thunder Force. It was the same person, wasn't it?
It's the same developer. They've
I've got all magic. Mate,
they've done quite a few, but the thing about the Thunder Force series has got long roots, long legs as well, and that goes back to the first game, if I remember right. I think it's either an MSX game or a Sharp game. I can't remember.
Sharp X68000 or something, wasn't it?
I think I keep thinking it's a weaker hardware. You know, it's not the Sharp computer is excellent. I mean, have you seen Final Fight in that?
Amazing, right?
Final Fight actually as much
slightly weaker.
Well, obviously, one of my other favourite games and conversions is like Final Fight CD, as you know, Mega CD.
Yeah.
Spent so much time in that game; it's fantastic. But the Sharp version of Final Fight is so close. The only way you can really tell the two apart is by the amount of enemies on screen.
From what I understand about the X68000, it was X68000. That's right. Can I get the health? It was basically the first generation of Motorola X68000 had a certain clock speed, and it was so powerful.
Do you know what always got me about that? Is that came out about the time when the Amiga was a thing, and I mean the Amiga is a beautiful computer. It always will be, and just was and is. I mean the demo scene was fantastic. The arcade conversions were never that great, but when you see Amiga games that were made specifically for the Amiga, they were class, weren't they? Like Shadow of the Beast and all that. And I mean, some of them were more like arty games, you might call them, as in like they're not that playable really, but they just look and sound fantastic, you know. So conversions like Double Dragon, for example, weren't that great. Although, funny enough, Amiga had a really good conversion of Golden Axe. Very playable, very good, and played like the Mega Drive version. I mean, do you remember the Amiga version? Or ST version? It was good, no?
I did, but I didn't give it a lot of time, if I'm honest.
No, we had the Mega Drive by then, you know. But I mean, for like an Amiga owner who liked the arcade game, you would have liked it. I mean, it was based on the arcade though, so you had 5 levels. Didn't have the extra material of the Megadrive, but the feel and the sound effects. I think what they've done is they've sampled a lot of stuff direct from the Megadrive and not the arcade. So it was quite interesting. That. To me, leaving that, they maybe didn't get access to the PCB, the machine, you know.
Oh, that was a good time.
But again, like one comparison here when talking about the Sharp computer versus the Amiga Final Fight, great example. I mean, Final Fight on the Amiga is nothing like the arcade game at all. I mean, the ripped sprites from it, and it's commendable. I mean, they lose colours, but the sprite and animation, but that is commendable that they did that. But then you look at the Sharp version, and you've got this absolutely fantastic 95% perfect conversion. You know, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the Amiga coders of the day were just like high as a kite, like most of the time. So that's why you got what you got. You know, it was part of the charm of the whole era, like the whole scene. You know, allegedly.
There was some strange conversions come out, like, but then there was some really good like gems in it as well. You know, like
what conversions? Well, like Amiga or
like for Amiga and stuff. You know, I mean, look at like Crackdown, for example. You know, like the whole last level, just you couldn't play it. Like, well,
that was apparently a mastering error. Oh, he's dead. That was apparently a mastering error.
It may well have been, yeah. I mean, they might have lost the last couple of bytes or something off the data.
The sad thing about that is, you know, if we've had a bit of time on the Amiga, and it's quite a good version. It feels quite like the arcade, and I think we said this in our Crackdown video actually, but I found the Amiga version, but definitely the ST because it's more complete, to be a bit better than the Megadrive.
Yeah.
But the Megadrive and all, I mean, they had...
story. Skip the story.
Oh, sorry.
We were found to be in close vicinity of the castle.
Your way is blocked by the Fiend's Path.
There you go. Glenn knows the story.
Not at all, I can't remember word for word.
It'd be something like that. You must cross through the Fiend's Path.
In order to reach the castle.
That keeps happening. I'm just not close enough to hit them with the hammer butt. And then they get us. It happened before with her Storchinair or whatever she's called. Level 2.
The Mega Drive had a couple of very good sort of remakes, reimaginings, which I prefer to call them. That was it was Shadow Dancer and E-SWAT, where they completely redesigned the games and were better for it, you know.
Shadow Dancer as well was definitely better Mega Drive than arcade. I wouldn't say that about this, because Golden Axe Arcade is better than Golden Axe and Mega Drive. But it's a damn good conversion.
It's a bit more polished. I mean, this version does have its little glitches and that, like we've seen some already, which is good because I like to see that stuff on video, to be honest. You know, but it's completely expected. It would have been a new console at the time. I think Golden Axe. I don't think Golden Axe was actually a launch title, but it was like the second wave. So the second wave would be like 3 months after or something, you know. 6 months tops maybe. I don't know exactly, but there was earlier games like Altered Beast being I know you don't actually like Altered Beast much, do you? But I think as a conversion though, even if you don't like that game, but as a conversion, I think it's excellent. Like very, you know, if you like the arcade game, you'd like the Mega Drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you couldn't disagree with that. You know, I mean, it's pretty caught on like for conversion. I mean, it doesn't have any extra stuff, but they would have played it safe at that time. In fact, it might have been the first game for Mega Drive, was it?
You know, it might have actually been. I suppose it depends on launch territory as well, because they tend to shake things about, don't they, between territories?
Massively. Well, that's it. There's a couple of pretty bizarre Japan-only games that came out right at the start of the Mega Drive's life, and we would have never seen them. But like their history is just weird, and they're considered like kusoge, which is like a shit game in Japanese.
Have some fire magic, bitches.
Oh, you need health. Need health.
There you go.
Ooh, badly.
That's a game we should play at some point, Gordon.
Yeah, just get through. They randomised the levels, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, that's another... Funny that, you know, we were talking about Pit Fighter 2 earlier. Well, Tengen, yeah?
Yeah.
Gone to 3, another final chapter, the computer exclusive game. The 3D isometric one. That was kind of good, actually, now. But it was That never came out in the arcades. That was made for made for home.
Well, neither did 4, did it? Which is on the Mega Drive.
But you know what Gauntlet 4 actually is, don't you? It's just Gauntlet. That's interesting. I had that. Do you remember having it? I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
I completed the quest mode. What Gauntlet 4 was, it was only called Gauntlet 4 in the Western territories. I'm pretty sure the Japanese version is called Gauntlet because the main game mode, the default game mode is Gauntlet, like Gauntlet 1.
Yeah.
And it's really well done. The reason it's sometimes referred to as a sequel, as in Gauntlet 4, is there's two reasons actually. I'll get to it quickly, but it's got a totally new mode, a pure adventure mode where you've got new bosses and that, and you had to actually buy items and things. So it took the game engine of the original Gauntlet, didn't add any new basic enemies at all though, mind. So there's actually less enemies than Gauntlet 2.
Right.
But you've got new dragon bosses and they're pretty cool as well. They weren't in any other version.
I remember that.
But there's another version of, did you know there's a Lynx game called Gauntlet 3?
There's a what?
There's a Lynx game called Gauntlet 3. Now it's called Gauntlet 3, the final chapter. And what it is it's actually, it's exactly what you said about Double Dragon 3 before. It's not, it was never a Gauntlet game. It was an unrelated action RPG that Atari just managed to purchase and apply the name. Yeah, I managed to get the name. So
I hate when they do. I mean, it doesn't often turn out well. I mean, Super Mario 2 probably won.
Because the original game was well liked as well, I suppose. So you get away with that. It's probably one of the better ones. Double Dragon 2 and Game Boy. There's no one, which worked out fair because
not a bad game.
Again, it's originally a Kunio-kun game. And it does, obviously it's nothing like Double Dragon 2 at all. I mean, we know how different the NES version is and it's its own thing in it. But it's Double Dragon 2. I mean, you've got many of the same enemies. You've got some of the same moves, including new ones. But there's levels that you're going, I can say that's Double Dragon 2.
Yeah.
You know, same as Double Dragon, But the Game Boy version is absolutely 100% different game altogether. But it turned out it's quite a good game, It's quite a fun game. I don't think it's as good as Double Dragon 1 on Game Boy because it's very easy, no challenge at all. But I mean, as a sort of unofficial, semi-official sequel, it does its job.
Yeah. I thought it was canny. I didn't
Did you play through it?
Yeah, I remember the first time I played it and thought, I don't like this.
Cool little tidbit, or just me being sad and anal. The final boss is called Anderson. Now I found out more recently that one of the 5 emperors, which is one of the bosses of Double Dragon Advance's penultimate level. The 5 bosses you fight the Mysterious Warriors, the final boss of that level, Raymond. Well, one of the bosses is called Anderson and all, so I thought I'd have been playing that. You might as well go for it, mate.
You did.
So, quick little bit of Golden Axe info, which many of you will know if you're watching this video and have interest in this game.
I was going to say, where's the King and Queen, but yeah, they're off the screen.
This is the part that blew me away, remember. This blew me away, because, I mean, like I said, it's not impressive now in 2023, but back in 1990, I put my controller down and I thought this was it. But the game was won with big Death Adder, that's all. A bit disappointed that the axe didn't fly up and hit him in the chest like the arcade, but I thought, what more can you ask for? It's still a good game and a good conversion. And so I put my controller down and I was ready to walk away, wasn't I? So
yep.
Like, we're done, this is it.
Yep.
I told you about it 9 times. I wake you up during the night, I remember sometimes, back in about 91, I did tell you all about it. You were like, Glenn, fuck off, I'm going to school, but it says, no, Mark, you're going to hear my story again. And you had no choice, and you listened. And then tried to get back to sleep and couldn't, because it was probably about 5 in the morning. But this, I mean, at that time, in fact, if I remember right, in the arcade game, there isn't even a story segment here. The princess walks towards the king and it basically fades out, doesn't it, and goes to the classic arcade.
Do you not get a little bit of text? I can't remember.
Congratulations, but that comes on the map screen, doesn't it? I think it just says congratulations by itself.
Congratulations.
And then you get your ending, which is that famous sort of with the arc, with them jumping out the arcade machine. Now, they put that in the Megadrive version, they put it in a lot of the computer games. But anyway, and then this happened. This happened. It was like, Jesus, what's going on? And it was like, I said to Kev at the time, Kev, this is just not a thing. This can't happen. Like, how's there another level? How's the more? I've never seen it before. Just never seen it. Bear in mind, I don't think... I'm definitely sure we played Kev's Megadrive before I even owned a NES. So, obviously, like something like Double Dragon 2 well, 1 and 2 on the NES, which were great games, hadn't like passed us. Like I hadn't had a chance with them yet. So this is my first real sort of contact with a game that put extra material and extra content in there. You know.
Yeah.
Not just got kicked the shit by not looking at the screen.
So. That'll save you.
Oh, thanks. So I'm just going to get her just to show pace. It's class. Didn't work that time.
Oh just trying to move out of the way.
I'll avenge you. But,
avenge me!
But my experience with conversions at the time would be like the C64. And I mean, obviously the conversions were always going to be a bit inferior, but
right, best
I nearly pressed the wrong button then, didn't continue. We're not going to complain with this. We're going to die and go last in the Megadrive.
We're not, man. We'll be fine.
Oh, I tacked it just to like scream, so you don't know if you're actually skeletons do, don't they? Oh, you need that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't use any magic. Oh, it's because I died.
Oh, I didn't think that happened though. It'd be nice to do a full screen, a full. You lost the credit. You've actually lost the credit on going last in the Megadrive. Have I? Oh, right. Sorry. Go on. You've got your full. You're all full up.
He'll be dead before he even starts.
Right, new enemy, although not strictly new, just a colour, just a palette swap. The bronze Haningas and long ones is literally 1 each in the game, and that's all.
Yeah.
They've got the same health as like one of the Bad Brothers, so they've got the most health out of these like low level enemies, you know. It was just interesting to see that the statues come. I always remember saying to Kev at the time, like, I want them other 2 characters to come to life, and they never do. So slightly disappointing. Like, but they look so cool.
It's weird.
They just look so. Well, I wonder if we're going to.
Should we take easy way out?
We probably will. We'll get them out. This is a General Bitter. He's the boss of this level. We're just going to get rid of them for you quite. Go on, Mark, you go for it, mate. Same as the Red Knight's Colonel Bitter, you know, and but these 2 weren't in the arcade game. So again, I was like blown away by
Get yourself over here to the edge.
2 gold-coloured knights that fight exactly the same as the red and silver ones. But I was easy pleased. You know, easy pleased, easy impressed.
Oh,
I've been funny if you could. And here we have it. Final battle. Deathbringer himself.
Deathbringer.
Now, contrary to popular or unpopular opinion, skeletons are not invincible. They do die. They've just got twice as much health as Deathbringer. Because I did it once, yes. Very sad, I know. What we've just done now, we're absolutely fried him. We've probably knocked about half his health off here because your magic is like just brutal, you know. I might get some. Ah! Ow! Damn! Oh, he gets us with that. Like, this is what happens when you get hit by Deathbringers. Yeah.
Dragon.
Sorry.
Counting on you, Glenn.
I know, mate. What have I done? This is recorded forever now.
Oh.
The interesting thing about this character, though, isn't it? Like this boss is he hits you with something and you'll get hit with something else. So if you get hit with his magic attack, his magic projectile attack, you're getting really hammered. And if he hits you with the axe, he hits you with a slightly lesser spell, but still just not like fun, you know. Like it's going to happen again because we'll just have to close. Ah man, I keep pressing the wrong button. Get out.
Oh, nice.
My turn.
I was going to try and kill one of the skeletons to prove they can't be killed. Well done, Glenn.
The only way you can do that is if you do it intentionally. They take far too much to do. You've got to literally trap him off the screen and kick the crap out of him. Absolutely ages. Well, that was fun.
I thought while you were keeping the bringer of death busy, I would have, kicked some bony ass. But
yes,
yeah, he died
Skeletons
beforehand.
Are lethal, aren't they? Still lethal. Still put up a hell of a fight. But they don't have their. They've got their own special move in the arcade game where they do the neck chop move. They haven't got this. That's nasty, you know.
Now prepare for a grand feast. This is definitely a lot more story than the arcade version.
Oh, too right. Well, as I said, there was not really much beyond like the end, but the ending is great. Now, sadly, and I don't know why, but the cool ending from the arcade game isn't here. And I just thought, I don't know why they could. I actually do quite.
It was.
It's not. I like the replacement. I actually quite like what they do. Where it gives you a little bit.
Batting the
That's it. That's after the cast list, where it shows you the different enemies that you're fighting at and gives you a couple of little details about the stats and that, which I just thought was an interesting little thing at the time. You know, that's how we got the names for these characters. But yeah, you've got that credits as well, where you're playing baseball.
Baseball with the cast. No, it's an absolutely amazing conversion, like, isn't it? It's, I mean, it's so long back now, it's hard for us to really remember, but
do you know what
somebody took going from that arcade version to this, it'd be like, you would not be disappointed, would you?
This is what we have. I know we have a future conversation, so I know I'll not go into it at all because I don't want it to, but definitely it goes back to something I said yesterday about when the arcades maybe started to show that decline a bit, and it's earlier than some people think, in my opinion. You know, but we will keep this for another day. But I mean, obviously this game came out in 1990, and
this game was a rare exception in the fact that it was so good of a port. You know, still a rare exception at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the effort and the love put in, though. You know, I mean, but you've got to be honest. So, but seeing like some people to talk about Final Fight, which I often bring up, specifically the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom version. I mean, yes, it's cut back massively. And Kev asked me a question once. He says, "What game do you prefer, Golden Axe on the Mega Drive or Final Fight on the SNES?" And I said, without hesitating, Golden Axe, because obviously extra material and all that I just did. But you cannot like ridicule Final Fight for what it is. Bear in mind the cartridge size at that time as well. It loses a ton of material. You want me to?
8 megabit or something, wasn't it?
I think it might have been 4 mark. I think it might have been 4, which this is. But look at the size of sprites on Final Fight and that, you know, and that's the size of the game.
The size of the
I know.
Look at the length of Colonel Bitter's sword. It's huge.
It's his box sword. But Final Fight, though, the thing about what that does is it plays like the arcade as well. So
did you just talk about his pork sword there?
Pork sword. Might have one.
His gentleman tail sausage. Sorry, I cut you.
We couldn't help it. So we're like a bit immature, you sometimes say. But Final Fight in the SNES plays great, and it's even got it's got like little tricks that you can use in the arcade game. You can use on the SNES, so people would love that, you know.
Yeah.
Going, well, look, okay, I'm only one player.
Punch, grab,
and throw. Right. I've got like only one player. I lose one whole character who some people say who's the best bit love guy, and I lose 2-player more. You know, I said 1-player game, but again, for what it is, it does great. And, I mean, I love all the Final Fight games on the SNES. So 2 and 3 are great. I mean, in my opinion, 2 was an apology for 1 because although it's a different game, it's got different levels and enemies and whatnot and different characters.
They've took
it's the same size. Yeah, that's it. It's
added everything back in.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm actually kind of disappointed at Final Fight Guy though. It's like, why didn't they just do that with? Why didn't they just make Final Fight Complete or something?
Well, how much later was Guy over?
Guy was I think that came out about 92, where Final Fight 3 was 93. So, but they could have easily just done.
Wow.
They could have done a Final Fight 1 game, 1 version with all 3 characters on it, 8 and 6 levels and 2 player, and then brought Final Fight 2 and maybe even done what Golden Axe 2 did to Golden Axe 1 and pretty much same content, same size, but just new graphics. I mean, it would still sell. Obviously, Final Fight 3 changes things up quite a bit, like, and gets a lot of love now. Actually, Final Fight 3. It just come at a time when people were done with beat 'em ups. You know, they come at a time where Street Race 3 didn't do as well either for that very reason. I think, you know, coming in 94 and Final Fight 3 coming in 95. This is a great ending. This.
Whack.
But I think the whole beat 'em up thing, you know, went through a bad patch during the definitely during the early 3D days, you know, and then up and even into like the PS2 era, like, do you not think?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're Fighting Force. Obviously, we've covered that one as well on the channel.
We have now. And are you really? I like the game, but I don't like it as much as you. I am.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't love the game. I preferred it back when I had a PlayStation back in 1987. That, you know.
Oh, and it would be impressive because it is. It's like you've got to beat them up where you literally like got almost full freedom of movement. I mean, that at the time would have been excellent. But I remember, because again, putting the context on and all that, we played Super Double Dragon and Return of after that game. Yeah. And I remember saying, and I think we both agreed, that we had better time with Return of Double Dragon than we did with Fighting Force.
Yeah, we've already mentioned it once tonight. a testament to how good that game is.
It is. It doesn't get enough love, I think, and it's fantastic.
It's the way that game makes you feel when you pull off the moves, because you have that time to think in between moves of how you're going to take the next person down and things like that. There's stuff like Fighting Force. Golden Axe is a bit like that. In fairness, you can see your enemies. It's not a fast game, and you've got time to think where you're going to make.
Yeah, where Final Fight's not, Final Fight's do. But mind you, Streets of Rage though, not one, but 2 and 3, for me, managed to sort of marry that a bit, didn't it? So you've got enough moves to be able to
control in Streets of Rage,
and you've
2
got
especially, and 3.
You've got that
really
much
good.
that you can combo off, can't you?
Yeah.
But like the early Final Fights at 1 and 2 mainly, you pretty much grab you either near the guy or you throw him. Straight to it, you've got about 3 or more variations on that, and then sometimes further development on from there as well when you're using your attacks. So I think Streets of Rage sort of did it. It's definitely 2.
Streets of Rage is number 1 in games. Like Streets of Rage 1 as well, I suppose. But up the Freedom on the Megadrive,
1 doesn't have that many moves at all.
And Remake on the PC, which we will play eventually. For me, they're games that you can be good at as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this, Double Dragon, all the Double Dragons apart from 3, which no one will ever speak of again.
Well, this goes back to another game we've mentioned already, and obviously it's back on course for what we're playing here with Golden Axe 3. Oh, see, it's recorded live. Yeah. Golden Axe 3, I think, is absolutely a fantastic game. Now, GA3 actually got a 6% review in one magazine. Did you remember that? I can't remember what magazine it was. I remember seeing a 6 mark, and I was like, oh, 6 out of 10? Nah, it's not great, but 6 out of 100. And it was like, but the game is. The thing is, it came out in 93, and I think it was late in 93, so it's nowhere near as visually impressed with Street Race 2, which just isn't. Which, bear in mind, is an earlier game with a bigger cartridge. I think Golden Axe 3 is 8 meg, where Street 2 is definitely a 16 meg cartridge. So it is nowhere near visually or really impressive, like the sound, but it's got quite a bit of depth. It's got a great combat system. It's a bigger game, nice variety of enemies and that, and more characters, and it's got a little versus mode in there now for a bit of extra fun. I just thought the package was nice, and I've spent a lot of time. That's why I can't wait to actually play that with you properly, because we haven't played that for years. And I don't remember, did we even play it properly in 2-player? Did we even ever play it properly back in the day?
I don't think we did.
And it's like there is a bit of imbalance in it. Some characters have very powerful special moves that you can literally, like what we do with Guardians of the Hood there, so there is a bit of that. But it ends up being just part of the fun. But this was Golden Axe anyway, and I think I had a good time there. So
this was Golden Axe, gentlemen, ladies. Thank you very much once again for sticking by us.
Yes, please. Yeah, much
as
appreciated.
I said, please drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media in the comments and description. For us, good night.
And God
Merry
bless.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yes.
So Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays for some, maybe. Merry Christmas.
We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.